Are you a girl? And has it ever happened that somebody told you, you look like a man? You look masculine. You have masculine features. You're built like a man. Has it ever happened to you? And how did you feel? Did you feel it was something positive, or did you feel like it was something negative? Like it didn't really fit into what you wanted to represent. Well, today we're going to talk about femininity and masculinity and how y'all are losing the plot. I feel like we're low-key starting to forget how women look like, and that women and like that male and female are very interchangeable in the way that they look. I also want to highlight my little microphone. Does it work? No, it doesn't. It's not connected to anything, but it's very cute, and I think it's awesome, and we love her. Now, the thing is, throughout this video, I'm gonna be using the terms male and female, not because I'm referring to women as females. I think that's very objectifying and like only focusing on their sex. No, I'm talking in like a biological sense, like penis and vagina. Penis to vagina. Penis and vagina, that's what I'm like trying to refer to, like male, female. I'm not talking about gender identity. I'm talking about sex in itself, like biologically. Now, I think we're low-key starting to forget that we are one species and that we can look very similar. I feel like we're starting to forget that people can have masculine features even though they're not born a man. And I feel like we're also forgetting that people can have feminine features even though they're not born a woman. And I feel like y'all are forgetting that because, if you have been a girl and you have been called like very masculine, I feel like it's really weird, or like that you look like a man. Now, there's nothing wrong with looking masculine, but being called like a man, like, oh my God, you look like a man, or if you're a guy and somebody's like, you look like a girl, I feel like that's just very weird because we are literally just humans and we're from the same species. Like, obviously, some people are going to have more feminine features and some people are going to have more masculine features. It doesn't matter what sex they have down there. Now, the thing is, if you look at this squirrel, can you really tell me if this is a male squirrel or a female squirrel? Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest right here. I don't think so. I couldn't. Just because I can't doesn't mean you can't, but like I couldn't, and I don't think you can. And if you're gonna look at this cat, can you tell me, is this a male or a female cat? I don't know, and you probably also don't. And that's the thing that, males and females from any type of species can look very, very similar. Now, actually, in nature, I think it's like very common that a lot of male counterparts of a certain species are like cuntier, more colorful, more loud to attract females to make babies and shit. Now, I think a lot of it is obviously heavily rooted in stereotypes. Men, they used to like work and get dirty and like work in construction. No, I mean, people still work in construction. Those are the real people of society, I feel like. Back in the day where women were really allowed to get an education or really work, their husbands, they did like the jobs, and obviously the mothers had to stay at home. And I feel like they were just used like as a trophy, like a trophy wife. You know what I mean? Look pretty, be proper, take care of the kids, and let your husband do the dirty work. You know what I mean? I mean, why would a man really get dressed up if it's gonna be like maybe sweaty, especially if we're working like very like construction jobs, like they're gonna get dirty anyway. But a woman, she's staying at home all the time. She can get ready. And I feel like also a lot of beauty treatments are obviously advertised towards women. Hair removal, makeup, doing your hair and going to the hairstylist, your outfits, because women have more like variety when it comes to outfits personally, or like accessories and bags. I feel like a lot of what has to do with your outer looks are obviously advertised towards women. And obviously when you transform into something that is not like natural, doing crazy beats and makeup, and there's nothing wrong with that. Fun fact, or not fun fact, but like there's nothing wrong with that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I think everybody should get dressed up. But obviously, getting dressed up, you're living a fantasy, a beautiful fantasy. And a lot of women obviously look better than men. Like statistically wise, or like universal wise, objectively, I think obviously women look better than men because they put more effort into how they look, because it's more advertised towards women. Because that's like stereotypes and shit, because women need to be attractive to men, which is kind of crazy because, again, as I said, in nature, a lot of the male counterparts are actually cuntier with animals to attract female counterparts, which is crazy, I know. So obviously, like, you know, women are always told like to look pretty and shit and stuff like that. And obviously they're doing makeup, they're doing their hair, they're doing like extravagant things to look like really different. And obviously you know, at night when you take everything off, when you wash your face, have you ever looked at yourself and said, oh my god, I look like a man, or oh my god, I look so ugly? You know what I mean? Has that ever happened to you? Because I feel like it probably has. Or maybe, you know, there was a possibility of that happening, that you look at yourself and you're like, damn, I look like a man. After you take off your makeup, you take off everything. And low-key, that's shady towards men, but I like that. So let's keep the shade going. Like, I feel like if somebody calls me a man, I'm not gonna see that as like a compliment or anything. I'm gonna be like, oh my god, that's disgusting, stinky, and gross. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna take that as a compliment. I'm gonna be like, oh, so you're calling me disgusting and hairy and just not, you know, tamed and kept, you know? But the thing is, we don't look like men. We look like ourselves. We look like humans, and that's just how we look. Obviously, we're gonna look more like male counterparts in the human species because, well, we're not like doing crazy looks or anything. We're gonna look natural because that's just how species are. Like, we as humans and males and females, they do look pretty similar. I'm not saying that they're one-on-one the same. I'm not saying, oh my god, a male is the same as a female. Like, I'm not saying that. I think there's differences, but I think there's also so many similarities. And I feel like y'all are just not clocking that.
It's not clocking to her that I'm standing on business, okay?
I think also some of it is very like rooted in racism. I'm gonna insert a clip of an influencer called Ham Hershey, and I really love her, and she made a video about like androgyny and shit. So let's watch it.
Is she androgynous or is she just brown? The other day, one of my best friends, who's also a brown girl, mind you, told me that I looked like a masked lesbian. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against masked lesbians, but I had to explain to her why that wasn't really the compliment she thought it was. More often than not, brown and black girls tend to be called androgynous. People have told me that my face gives gender, and while you may be thinking you're giving a super nice compliment, reality is that a lot of these brown and black girls actually don't want to be giving androgyny. Why don't we unpack why you think I look like a masked lesbian in jeans and a t-shirt? What subconscious mode of thinking is making you think that? Because I can almost guarantee if it was a white girl, it would not have given masked lesbian. I also had sent a picture of an outfit I wore to my friend group, and my friend said she loved the outfit because I looked super androgynous. Again, I'm sure she meant well, because for a lot of people, androgyny is a desirable feature. I really encourage all of you guys to just take a moment to think before you go out of your way to give a gendered compliment to someone. Maybe just telling someone you think their outfit is cute is enough, because subconsciously or not, the rhetoric tends to be that black and brown women are simply more masculine or androgynous. Even if you find those features desirable, not everyone wants that for themselves. It's weird to call someone androgynous when they don't want to be called that. And if you're a brown or black girl, I probably should have closed my mouth for that one. Remember that these comments don't actually mean anything about how you look and who you are. You define how you express your gender and who you are.
So yeah, as you can see, I feel like a lot is also kind of rooted in racism because the, you know, Eurocentric white Caucasian. I feel like the Eurocentric beauty standard is very like present in how, you know, women, obviously also men, you know, masculinity and femininity, but also especially how women should look. And there was like a study made, and let's get into that because I found that very interesting. You know, because obviously the features that are like very stereotypical for the Eurocentric vision is like small nose, small this, and white and shit. I don't know. White and shit. Exactly, white and shit. Racialized body dissatisfaction in black women. Development of the black feminist model of body image. Now, this was an interview, you know, conducted in different groups. Here you can see like specifically, and basically it was talking about like beauty and ideals and blah 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 and all of that. And basically a conclusion that they came to was results indicated that the standardization, bro, English is fucking difficult. Results indicated that the standardization of Eurocentric beauty standards resulted in the stigmatization and devaluation of black women based on appearance. Participants described being stigmatized on the basis of their appearance and feeling devalued due to the prevalence of negative stereotypes about black women's appearance and behavior. So I feel like a lot of women of color could probably think that they might not feel feminine enough because of the standards that we have seen that are very Eurocentric. That they're not, feminine enough, that you're not woman enough because you don't look enough like a woman, just because they have certain features that have been passed down from them from generations and generations. Babes, stereotypes are fucking stupid, and any stereotype, whether it's Eurocentric or not, is fucking stupid, because not everybody is gonna obviously naturally, from their natural features, are gonna follow the Eurocentric beauty standard. And I feel like obviously we shouldn't follow stupid beauty standards. I think beauty standards are stupid because they change over time. Obviously, also when it comes to like bodies, it's just a fucking stupid thing, okay? Keep that in mind. Keep that in your fucking mind. Beauty standards are fucking stupid. Okay? And if you don't fit them, that's totally fine. That does not make you less feminine or less masculine, okay? Just because some old man from like 100 years ago or 50 years ago tells you, you don't look like a man or you don't look like a woman. Bro, shut up. Okay, shut up. Not everybody can naturally follow a stupid ass beauty standard that was made from like stereotypes of, I don't know, the 60s or some shit. I feel like a lot of y'all are putting a lot of pressure on people to follow a certain standard, or if a person doesn't follow a certain standard because they just look the way they look, y'all think that they're ugly and they're not like, representing a certain, identity enough, which I find very, very stupid. Everybody can dress up and wear crazy things. It doesn't only apply to women, of course. I feel like a lot of y'all are also forgetting that men, they can wear makeup. It's like just paint. It's paint. It's paint on your face. I feel like y'all are not understanding that as well. It's paint on your face. That doesn't mean it's for women. It's just very catered towards women because you dumb bitches, okay? Because of your grandparents or some shit. And also, I feel like, dresses and skirts and blah, 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 that does also not really define, like, your sex or whatever. Like, a piece of fabric does not have a penis nor vagina attached to it. So you can't really say what it belongs to, if it belongs to males or females. And even if a skirt had a vagina attached to it, I don't think it really matters, because who cares if it did? Which is a crazy thought to even think about. But, like, even if a skirt had a vagina attached to it, who cares if it, oh my god, it should belong to females because it has a vagina on it. Like, bro, shut up. It's really not that deep, and it never will be, okay? People should wear what they want. And I feel like, also, we are forgetting history. Y'all did not listen in history class, but Ludwig the 14th, or like the people back then, wearing high heels. Royal men or some shit, they wore high heels back then. They also wore skirts back then. Like, it was a thing that a lot of males also wore. You know what I mean? And I feel like we're also low-key forgetting, like, drag queens, for example. Drag queens not only consist of, like, cis men, of course, but a lot of cis men, they dress up and, cross-dress and become beautiful drag queens. And they become, like, super femme and super, like, feminized versions of themselves. I mean, for example, let's take a look at this picture. Do you think this is a cis woman, or do you think what do you think? Like, be real. Like, be real. What do you think? That is what famous drag queen? Plastic Tiara. Yes, drag queen. So obviously we can feminize our features, we can masculinize. Why is the English language so fucking hard? Masculinize, masculine. I'm crashing out. We can make ourselves look more masculine or make ourselves look more feminine. And also what I thought about while I was like thinking about this topic is, for example, when there was like a controversy in the sports world about the basketball player Iman Khalif, where people thought she was trans just because she had more masculine features. And I feel like that's also very transphobic, obviously, because just because a woman has masculine features does not mean she is a trans woman. That's like, and have y'all seen trans women? Have y'all seen trans women? Have y'all seen trans people in general? I don't think so. And a lot of people said, oh my
gosh, she's trans and she shouldn't even be in the basketball sports, and she shouldn't even participate because she's trans, and she should be in the male section and not in the female section. And
I'm like, y'all are first of all stupid and disgusting. Y'all are both. Y'all are stupid and disgusting. Because, turns out, I think she did like a test or something. hey, turns out she was born a female. Oh, yeah, you look stupid. So again, this is like prime example. People can have masculine features, people can have feminine features. Also, there was like one time, there was this like transphobic TikToker, and I don't remember her name. I don't really remember, like, I remember her account and what it was about, but I don't remember her name. But this was like some white lady, I think. Basically making content and exposing every single A-list celebrity for being trans, which, if we're being honest, how is every single A-list celebrity trans? Like, the possibility of that is very, very low. Okay, it's not impossible, but it is very, very low. And basically this influencer was like talking about, for example, this prime example that I have in my head. And if you know this woman, you know this woman. She was talking about Zendaya and Tom Holland. She was basically saying that Zendaya must be a trans woman and that Tom Holland must be a trans man, because Zendaya has these masculine features and these masculine face structure and masculine body structure, and Tom Holland, he has feminine facial structure and feminine body structure, and that means they are both trans and worshipping this trans god that they have and are trying to infect us. What? Like, what are you even fucking yapping about? And it's like, this is even more prime example of, the male and female counterpart of humans being very interchangeable. And I feel like y'all don't understand that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but basically that is like my thought. So never think that you look like a man. You look like yourself. You look like a human. You look like that. Masculinity and femininity have been made up by society. And if somebody tells you that you look like a man or you look like a woman, even though you don't identify with looking like a man or looking like a woman, personally, don't take it to heart. They're just stupid and don't know how, I guess, Earth and people and humans work, okay? Yeah. So obviously, again, there are differences between male and female, but they can also be very interchangeable in the way they look. One might have a penis, one might have a vagina, but both of them could have feminine or masculine features, okay? It's not like impossible, okay? It's not like, a crazy thing. And also, what is masculine and what is feminine, again, was made by like stupid people and like stereotypes and shit like that. So obviously all of your features are just your features. You just look like that. It doesn't mean that you look super manly or super girly. Like, it doesn't really matter, okay? And I obviously don't want to be called masculine because that's not what I identify as. I love everything that is feminine. I really do. I mean, would I love to be a man in the society that we have today? Yes. I think if I was a man, I'd have an easier life. But that is, another topic. We identify with what we identify as, and you should make yourself comfortable and make yourself feel the best. If you identify with more feminine things, then that's how you feel. And if you identify with more masculine things, or both, or neither, that is you. And you should decide how you make yourself feel, and that should be make yourself feel good. That's what she said. So yeah, thank you for listening to me yapping and babbling around. Yeah, I just thought we should be having these conversations and stop making gender DOS comments, because we look the way we look, guys. We look the way we look, and that's that. Our features have been passed down by generations, and we should cherish that. I mean, obviously you can also get plastic surgery, I don't give a fuck, but hope you enjoyed me yapping and babbling, and I hope you enjoy my little microphone. So that is me saying goodbye. That is me saying goodbye, guys. Okay, no. Okay, let's just stop,